What is going on, everybody? This is the Red River Horror Podcast. I am your host, Joe Zakreski, coming at you this week as a solo JoJo. This is episode number 31. How about that? How special. And I am all by myself, and that is plenty okay, so you're just going to have to listen to me talk. And what am I going to talk about? Joe, you're by yourself. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know I've done this before, right? Of course you do. You've listened to it. Unless it's your very first time checking out the Red River Horror Podcast, well then, hello, welcome to the show. So what was I thinking about doing if I'm going to be recording a show all by myself? What can we talk about today? Here's what I'm thinking.
Constantine. John Constantine. Asshole.
That's right, that was Keanu Reeves as John Constantine, Hellblazer, though the movie was just called Constantine. Fun fact about that movie, that was the first movie that I saw in, the IMAX, I believe it was. Yeah, we've talked about that before. It was the first movie that I saw in the IMAX theater, and it wasn't exactly like built for IMAX, but hey, whatever. It worked out pretty good. I think there were some parts that were. I wasn't really able to tell because it's big and, there. So anywho, it's a movie that gets a little bit of, it gets a little of some unnecessary hate, I think, but at this point it's pretty much forgotten about. So, so you would actually have to mention to somebody like, hey, you remember when Keanu Reeves was in that movie Constantine? So I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that happened. It happened, and what's his face? The Gavin Rosdale was in it, and he sang those songs like "The Little Things That Kill" and "Got a Machine Head," and that other one for Glycerine that for some reason still gets radio play. At the point where I did everything I could to get away from that song in the morning because it was on this one radio station. I'd be on, I'd get in my car. I don't like calm, mellow music in the morning. I need something that's going to lift me up, pick me up, and hearing Glycerine is definitely not that song. Anyway, back to Constantine. So I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was really good. One thing I was like, I guess they opted to do, most of the comic covers it says John Constantine, Hellblazer. They're dark, they're fun, especially like I grew up Catholic, so a lot of, the Lucifer, a lot of the devil, all that stuff is like, oh yeah, I know all about that stuff. And you have a little more, a little bit of back knowledge of the story, and it plays with it. So, good imagination there. But it's not like the greatest movie ever, but I find it as a fun ride. It's a quick, hey, here's John Constantine. He smokes a lot. He's got the lung cancer. He's going to go defeat some demons and yada, yada. And then, I'm not going to spoil the end for you. Go watch it. Give that one another shot. A lot of the imagery for the year came out. I think it was like 2005. A lot of that imagery for like when he's in hell looks really cool. I think the movie should get maybe a little more credit after the fact, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So I will be alone in my love of the movie Constantine. Sorry. Well, unless anybody wants to tweet at me at Red River Joe and say, hey, Joe, I like that movie too. Make me feel less bad. I think there's a couple people out there. I know Eddie was down with it because I saw the movie with him. So, any toots. Well, after the movie, then came along the TV series that was on NBC, also called Constantine. And thinking about anything like comic book related, going from paper to screen, this is something I want to build our conversation on today. Is what are things that would be better going from its original media to, should it be a TV show or should it be a movie? And I think a lot about that, and Constantine's one that really, I think, may have been done wrong twice. And that would be on NBC, NBC, it's a movie with like a good opportunity to get really dark, or like gritty, dark, scary. Get that in there, And you weren't having that on NBC as much as they tried, but it's still, prime time, I gotta stop saying, I'm doing that a lot. I'm doing a Cole Hamels. You can look that up on YouTube. Cole Hamels saying, Well, I digress. Let me go. I will continue. If I keep doing it, I just keep doing it. What I'm stuck here. So, the TV show on NBC, I watched a few episodes and it really wasn't my cup of tea. And that's fine. I wasn't expecting much of it. I've just always hoped that if there was ever going to be a TV show from that comic book, it would be dark, adventurous, So, had the movie. Movie wasn't bad. A lot of people hate it. I disagree. But now there is news that JJ Abrams is going to be the executive producer of a show for HBO Max that will be bringing back the character John Constantine. And the only thing I can ask, because this is the perfect platform for these kinds of things, it should be on, especially something like HBO where you can do just about whatever you want. Do that. Get dark. Get weird, and please throw Hellblazer into the title. Can it just have it be John Constantine Hellblazer? Just Hellblazer? Like, Constantine's taken. Let's go. Let's get Hellblazer in there. Toss it in there. Have some fun with it. Why does it have to be exactly like the Keanu movie and the NBC television show? It doesn't have to be Constantine. Change it up. For me. I'm asking. I don't know. I didn't say please yet. Please change it for me. Oh, this talking makes you thirsty. You heard that. Boom. So I'm really looking forward to that. That is something that I will cover once the show's actually out. So I'm not going to go too deep into it right now because I'll be like, hey, it's something that I would like to do a little more of. And, this is a show that I want to keep going. So we'll save it. But let me know what you think by tweeting at me at River Joe, or some of you who talk to me in person. Please feel free. You can bring that up to me anytime. I will gladly discuss it. And whatever. Yeah. Hopefully HBO, JJ, if you're hearing this, I know you're not, but hey, maybe you are. I'll shoot my shot. Don't blow it. Thanks. Please. Thank you. Done. So, going on, we see, here's another one where AMC had success with The Walking Dead. And one of the things that really holds back the show The Walking Dead, that it's not on an HBO or a Showtime, one of those premium channels that has a more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? More leeway? Freedom? Less censorship? That's it. So, but hey, that worked out really well for them. That show is going to be coming to an end soon. Thank goodness it has run its course, and it's a shame that it wasn't able to, go the way of the graphic novels, the comic books, whatever you want to call them, that it wasn't able to, go all in and go all out. But hey, it worked for a while, and now that is coming to an end. And that is one where it's okay, TV show, comic book to TV show, perfect. Okay. And if they're going to actually produce these movies starring Andrew Lincoln, maybe you shouldn't, because that could end up costing you more and not getting much of a return. But then again, in this day and age, they could do it on a very low budget and just pop it onto whatever AMC's premium is, or who will they be with? Paramount Plus, whatever the heck that's going to be. They can toss it on there. Their most devout fans will be there to watch it. So, now, let's see. What's another one? So, when you think about, basically what happened with The Walking Dead, you think, Romero's zombies would work out on TV. I don't think they would, just because, his thing, they evolved over time. Those movies are really spread out. It's always been a movie. Leave it as a movie. Oh, so there's that one. Here's another one that I think should be a TV series instead of a movie, and it's getting relaunched again as a whole reboot, trying to revamp, get a new franchise for Resident Evil. Games are scary as all hell. I mean, the first one legit gave me nightmares. I didn't even have a PlayStation. I was just at my friend's house when they would like play it, and just from that, and we would always play like at night in the dark. It was just the music, the doors, like the slow pace, scary. But yeah. And Resident Evil 2, I mean, there's so much fun. There's so much you could do with Raccoon City. Everything. I mean, there's just so much that could be done. Like, why not? Why not go for TV? You know what? Let's just, has that even been considered? Let's take a look. Resident Evil TV show. Resident Evil TV show. Where are you? Did you ever happen? Oh, so I was wrong. It's not gonna be a movie. I thought it was gonna be a movie. It's not. It's gonna be a TV show. Oh. Welcome to Raccoon City, the working title for the pilot. Oh, the plot. The story takes place over 2 timelines. The first, which involves 14-year-old sisters Jade and Billy Wesker moving to New Raccoon City. They come to realize that their father may be concealing dark secrets that could destroy the world. The second timeline takes place over a decade in the future, where only 15 million humans remain, with over 6 billion animals and people being infected with the T virus. It follows Jade, now 30, in her efforts to survive this world. Yes! Oh, right, I'll take it. Whoo. Wow. How about that? I legit was like, oh, they're revamping the movie. I must, that's one of those things where it's just like, hey, bud, are you doing enough research before you start recording these podcasts? Sometimes I like to just go with it, see where we land. And that was the case here. But that's dope. Man, that's great. So, how about that? We're getting another game too. Is it already out? Another game? Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Heavens to Betsy. Let's check out the trailer for that. Hold up. Excuse. So that all blew up in my face, where I thought that, hey, this would be the perfect, like, why is this video game just, being made into movies? The movies were fine. I enjoyed them. They were a lot of fun. And then I thought there was going to be a reboot of the movie franchise. It's going to be a series for Netflix. Looks like first episode is going to be about 43 minutes. Hopefully they're all about 43 minutes. This could work out really well. I really like that 2 timeline thing. Something that for some reason that does it for me. Does that do that for anyone else, where it's just like, ooh, I like how there's like a future and a past? I mean, even like X-Men Days of Future Past worked out really well, but hey, it does it for me. And then there was this other show that I can't remember the name of that followed like 3 different timelines, and it got canceled after like 3 episodes. So it's really insignificant. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. So let's see. What was that? Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. It says, hey. Let's see. Or is this going to be also the name of the show? I think it's going to be the name of the show. Hang in there, folks. Don't hate me for figuring all this out. I only have 2 hands and I've got multiple devices. Speaking of which, if anybody would like to help me with setting up our video setup, hit me up, because I'm trying to get that done. Okay, so the TV series is going to be Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. When are you guys coming out? This is just so exciting. So exciting. It's coming soon. Launch time sometime in 2021. That's all the information we have, but we do have a trailer to check out here real quick. And I'm just gonna talk right over it. It's only 1 minute 8 seconds long, so you're watching this for the first time with me. Ooh, Capcom. Not only do they do Resident Evil, they do Mega Man, which is one of my all-time favorite games. All right, so what do we got going on here? Looks good. Real dark. Ooh, it's animated too. So it like looks like the game. Interesting. So interesting choice to go animated. But you know what? For something like this, for like video game things, like it could really work out really well. Because you know what else would be good if they did like an animated film of? Because I don't think it would work as well as a series would be Silent Hill. You just do a little more with it looking less fake. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a video game. So, I mean, unless they're going to end up doing real people at some point, but it does not appear to be that way. Hey, that's exciting. I really bungled that one. Whoa. Hey, what are you going to do? So, let's see. What's another one? What else is there that could possibly make like, hey, man, that movie should have been a TV show? Another one that I would always say was Watchmen. That's not horror, but hey, I loved the Watchmen movie. I loved the Watchmen graphic novel. And then they did a TV show that has its complete own thing, but within that really unique connection on HBO that is a Watchmen TV series, but it's not from the comic. It's not a revisioning of the movie. It's more like a sequel almost. I mean, it's really, really neat, really fascinating stuff. Very clever in a time where we need more clever things. Let's get clever. Oh, that's where it is. So you know what's clever? A really unique idea that I've talked to some people about it, but it's one of those. It's kind of like a hit or miss. Is Castle Rock on Hulu? Now, that's all characters and happenings kind of intertwining the Stephen King universe of horror and characters in a really clever way that like gives a revisioning or like I don't know, I just really enjoyed it, but the thing that hurts it is the number of episodes. It has to drag out. So it's like, if there was someone who... Would that work in a movie, though? Like, you would have to really sell it and explain it. Maybe like a 2-part mini-series would have been perfect. Like, rather than X amount of episodes being like, hey, here's part 1, 2, 3, and then that's it, rather than trying to spread out and have more time, because that always, like, kills things. And it's a shame. I mean... Stephen King stuff could always work. Almost all of his stuff would probably work better with a part 1, part 2, except for some of the books that are shorter, like Christine. Is Christine gonna get a makeover at some point? We'll see. I think we already talked about that. And I think it is, or maybe it isn't. I mean, now would be the perfect time to do Christine with smart cars and electric cars, like everything like hooked up. So. I mean, Christine was that before that was even a thing. So, someone get on that. Someone give me money. I'll get on it. That's one that would definitely not switch over from TV to movie. Probably just keep it in the movie world and let it stay there. Oh, man. So, who else? Who else would work? They did a Scream TV series, didn't they, on MTV? But that's no thank you, you know? I thought about checking it out at one point because I'm like, hey, it's Scream. But then it's also MTV and definitely a show that's made for people that were younger than me and capturing things that definitely would not resonate and I would not care for. Let's avoid that one. Another one that they did, they tried to make it dark. That's not dark at all. It was a goofy 80s movie, was Teen Wolf. I was tempted to check that out. I had a little cousin that was into it, and like it had like a dark, like trying to make it like a dark imagery. But if you watch the 80s one, oh man, that's a classic. It's silly, starring Michael J. Fox. Teen Wolf. And then of course, a few years later there was Teen Wolf 2 starring Jason Bateman. Now in Teen Wolf 1, it's like, oh, Michael J. Fox's families, they're actually, you know, werewolves. Oh, and he discovers it. as he's going through puberty and he's not very good at basketball, but now that he's the wolf, he's like the best basketball player there is. And it's like, oh, that's cool. And he's like super powered and he jumps around. And now that's basketball, okay? So he's got these superpowers for basketball. Teen Wolf 2 is Jason Bateman, who has the werewolf power or whatever you want to call it. He's a boxer, okay? Why boxing? Like in the first one, he's like over the top powerful. It's like, oh, let's make him a boxer. Just one punch knockouts nonstop. But I don't think that was the case in the movie. I can't remember. Stay away. Don't do it. Oh, this TV series. Oh, it's Jason Bateman. If you haven't seen The Outsider on HBO, definitely check that out. That's another one where maybe the episodes take away from because there's just too many. Cut that down into like 1 or 2 movies. I mean, it could have been fantastic. And I mean, the show is still very good. It runs into the same thing that everything Stephen King related has. So don't expect a insane ending. It's usually a pretty like, oh, here's the end. And some people hate it. Some people don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't always need to have something extreme. Just need something that satisfies what has happened. I mean, that's what you really want in an ending anyway, right? Not everything has to be a twist. It can all piece itself together and come to a conclusion. It doesn't have to be like, but wait, there's more. Who needs that? I don't need it. You don't need it. Nobody needs it. Out there, somebody needs it. M. Night loves it. That's what he lives by, dies by. Oh, M. Night. Would The Sixth Sense be a good show? Yeah. I mean, it could. Can you imagine that? No, because then, like, what are you going to have? The kid talking to different ghosts every time? Because he's a kid. I mean, it would kind of work. And it's basically what that show is. Another Hulu show with that guy from Tucker and Dale who basically is like a ghost detective kind of thing. Not a ghost detective. I forget what he does. It was a pretty funny show. I'll go back and watch that again. I never finished it. So I think it's just called Is it called Ghosted on Hulu? Silly. And then Cal Penn joins the cast at some point. It's like, what does Cal Penn do? He hangs out, jumps on random projects at random times. And then worked in the White House at one point. Yeah, Ghosted. Check that out. Something. Oh no, Ghosted. No, Ghosted's the one. Ghosted was a show that, like, oh man, I forgot to even watch a single episode of this. I was like, oh yeah, it's the one with Craig Robinson and Adam Scott. And it's like the perfect time for them to have a show. And then I think it lasted about a season. And then it was donezo. It's a shame because I like both of those guys. But, you know, hey, let's have a silly show on Fox or whatever it is. Oh, Monday night on Ghosted. Craig and Adam, I don't know what the characters' names are. Go out and do stuff. And then, end of episode. Deadbeat, that's the name of the show. 3 seasons, pretty silly. Some pretty good scenarios, straight up on Hulu. And that's that guy's name, Tyler Labine. Yeah, so, anywho, that's his name. He's in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil and some other movies. You'd be like, oh yeah, that guy, he's a guy. So, boom, boom. The idea for like certain ghost detective type things, I guess, might work. I think it's been done. I would like to do a parody of Ghost Hunters. I think I've talked about this before. Definitely not on the podcast. Talked about it before where it'd be like a paranormal thing. And it'd be more of a spoof on it because I like to laugh, you see. I don't always have to be serious. I can just go, ha ha ha, this has been a good time. So, here we go with the so-and-so's, Joes. So, what am I doing to myself saying so a lot? But hey. Let's pick those apart, because that would be like my nightmare, is just getting a list of things that I do that I don't realize I do and just have someone point them all out to me. And then I just lose my mind and go insane. I have to be in an insane asylum. And then you can make either a TV show or movie about that. I think for me, being in an insane asylum, I would prefer a TV show, because I could, talk to other inmates, getting wacky scenarios, and maybe even a little haunting. So there it is. Again. Silent Hill, we already talked about that movie, video game to movie. Had a lot of fun with that. Definitely, I don't think that one would work as a TV show. I'm drawing blanks, and hey, that's all right. Hellblazer, come on, please be good. That's all I'm hoping for. Would any of the monsters, there's been like monster things where they try and take on Dracula in certain ways. I mean, the vampires get used every which way possible. What about mummies? Could the Mummy go to TV? No. The Mummy's definitely movies only. Can't see that one getting anywhere far. Let's leave that one in the theaters on the screen, except for the Tom Cruise one that nobody saw and they paid a lot of money for. Or did someone see it? If you saw it, let me know at Red River Joe on Twitter, or just, if you got my number, text me. I'm not going to give it out on here. Where in the world is there another TV show, horror movie which one going crossing over? Castle Rock, though, I think either just a mini series, even like a 2-part movie would just be so good. The show's fine. I'd still tell you to check it out. I think it's interesting. The Hannibal Lecter character has been done every which way possible, and you know how I like to argue about that. It had the TV show Hannibal, multiple movies. It's been done every which way, but I think you got to leave that one be. Let's see. I know Bird Box was based on a novel also called Bird Box. So would Bird Box work as a TV show instead of a movie? I don't think so, because that's just so one and done from there. I don't leave that one alone. No need to elaborate on that. Let's think. Psychos had 2 different ways, because what was it, Bates Hotel, and then a couple different kinds of psychos. My man, the shark, Jaws. I think that was a book turned into a movie. Would it make a good TV series? Not one bit. How about, I think the Anne Rice vampires would make for a good TV show. No, I think Screen definitely works best for them. Something Frankenstein, maybe? Has there been a Frankenstein TV show? I mean, does the Munsters count? I mean, a Frankenstein TV show could work if you think about it. Like, you just have Dr. Frankenstein. You spend so much time with him gathering all the bits that he needs to build his monster. Think about it. That could actually work out really well. And then there was another one that I was thinking of, where I was just like, hey, this could be really something creepy. And I think it was The Ring. That's it. I pulled it up. I'm just like, so could you imagine, like, The Ring, creepy enough. Could like a Ring TV show be better though? Because then you just have it passing on to different people, like season by season or episode by episode. Think about that. That's one thing that was hitting me. I'm like, that could be really something. Just constantly changing it up. Do like 2 or 3 seasons of it. Call it a day. I think that one could work. It works for me. I mean, I like the sound of it. I like the sound of it a lot. I can't think of any more off the top of my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys go. If you have any fun topics that you'd like me to discuss and elaborate on, hit me up at Red River Joe on Twitter, or you can email us redriverhorror@gmail.com. And let's see, if you want to jump in with me, help me set up these video things that weren't connecting for me right now. This was going to be like, hey, here I am. I'm right in front of you. And just everything, everything, Murphy's Law, everything that could go wrong went wrong. And hey, that's life. That's life. Where is that thing that I would say to you guys? Yeah, video. If you want to help me out, hit me up. I know I've talked to some people about it already who are probably more than willing to give me a hand. This is just a reminder that I'm telling myself. If you have any suggestions for episodes, please let me know. Originally, I was planning on talking about it didn't really work. It was like some Polish folklore, but it's not really anything. It's nothing to get creeped out about. It was more just a guy who dances around all silly like, and hey, that's fine. That's fine. But this was fun talking about, media, going to movies, how I ramble. So I'm going to try and come up with some other ideas. There's some pretty neat things still in the works. And as always, remember to keep traveling those channels of fear.